The fighting pride of the United Kingdom. The former unified heavyweight champion of the world, AJ. Anthony Joshua. What's going on? All thanks for tuning in today, man. Joyce channel. Now, there's a couple of things I want to get through today. Before I do, firstly, I want to ask everybody to hit the red button, subscribe to the channel. And secondly, pause the video, get yourself a beer, right? Come back, man, because I want to finish this video when this beer's finished. You got a full bottle right here, man. So, like I said, there's a lot to cover, man. I've been, away from the boxing scene for a while. Tied up, life is busy and all that. I've been dropping a few music and things like that. So, I appreciate everyone that stopped in for that. But yeah, today's about Joshua with potential fights. Joseph Parker will obviously be one of the fights that he will have in mind. He recently had an interview with Chisora. And you all know what happened with Chisora. Parker basically outboxed him and almost beat him by knockout. He definitely put on a great performance against Chisora. So yeah, the show must go on. The show must go on. As you all know, what's happening in the Ukraine, the undisputed champion is cruiserweight champion, I should say. The unified heavyweight champion is Alexander Usyk, and he is now in the Ukraine and doing what he's got to do for his country. As most men would. His country is under a lot of jeopardy. And he's decided to defend it. So, all the best with him. I hope he returns in good spirits and in good health. But with the boxing world, the show must go on. Joshua now is saying that he wants to fight. He wants to stay active. Which is a good thing. Which most fighters need to do. It's pointless waiting around for your rematch at your title. You got to keep active, keep fighting. And like I said, Joseph Parker will probably be the easiest fight to make for him because Parker is in the UK. He's already been training with Fury for the Dillian White fight, which is coming soon. And I can guarantee that he will be ready for the Joshua fight if Joshua wants to offer it. Now, what's really bothers me now is that because Joshua is saying that he is, available to fight anybody, nobody is speaking up here. You don't really hear the fighters speaking up. I'm not talking about the management because at the end of the day, the fighters can also make the fight. But just, selling their pitch, making some noise. You know what I mean? Now, Joshua, I believe, will either go two ways here. I believe that he will fight Parker or he will fight Joyce because they're both UK fighters. Now, this is probably the easiest fight for him to make because he's one of those guys that, he likes to fight in his backyard. That's what he does, I better slow down on this, man. I don't want to peel it back too fast because I got a few things I want to talk about. But like I was saying, he's only debuted in the US once and he lost. One of the biggest upsets in boxing history, probably after the Buster Douglas fight, is him losing to Ruiz. Now Ruiz, I believe, he deserves a shot at Joshua because, he's beaten him once, he's lost once. And I think that Joshua should just be like, you know what, man, I want to go to the US and correct my wrongs here. Step out of his comfort zone and do it. Now, I don't think he will, but, that's what I'm hoping that would happen. But mainly, what I want to see is him challenge Deontay Wilder. That's the fight that I want to see. I think that's the fight that most boxing fans want to see. These guys deserve it to the fans, owe it to the fans, sorry, to fight each other, It's about the time the two heavy hitters go toe to toe. But I don't see that happening. Deontay Wilder's team is quiet. Deontay Wilder is quiet. Um, so like I say, it's up to the fighters to really make the fight. And I think that Joshua will end up fighting Joseph Parker. I believe that that's the fight that will happen next because he's been hanging out with Chisora a lot. Chisora would say, "Hey man, we got to get with revenge. Go beat Parker." I'm gonna guarantee you that he'll be saying that to fight him. Joyce, I think he's threats to anybody. I don't know if that fight will happen, but that's also a good fight for AJ. Joyce against AJ. It'll be good to see the Juggernaut fighting. Especially because he did start late and he is aging. But I think that he'll fight Parker next. I really do. I think that it's the easiest fight to make. Parker was also working with Hearn. They all get on with each other. Parker wouldn't really negotiate too much, I believe. He'll be happy with any payday. Against AJ, Joshua's going to make a lot of money regardless. So, and also, Parker's come off a big win against Chisora. So, I think that fight will happen next for Joshua. Now, that's that. Let's move on to the next chapter, which is, let's go with Taylor. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. So, for all of you guys that watched that fight, man, which most of the boxing world did, for anyone that hasn't been following boxing, Josh Taylor lost and he got awarded a robbery, as clear as day. Everyone saw that Catterall won that fight. Catterall dominated that fight. Catterall knocked him down. Now, Taylor has said that he did watch it back and he thought that he still won. But it's been about, I don't know, but it's been quite some time now. I can't even remember when I dropped that video after the fight. And now Taylor is saying that he is willing to give Catterall a rematch. But listen up. I'll tell you what it's all about, right? So the rematch, it's going to be, the rematch is basically, here's the catch. It's a catch weight. So what a catch weight is that basically what it is that you both fighters have to agree to a weight, and obviously Taylor being the A side by default, you could say, shouldn't really get that A side. He was given that A side advantage. Catterall should be the A side at the moment, but because Taylor is the A side, he'll get to choose the weight. Now, not only is he choosing the weights, he's also saying that the belts aren't on the line. Now, this is really wrong here. People know that he lost, and now he's saying, "I'll have the rematch, no belts." Let's call it a catch weight. You might as well call it an exhibition, because that's what it sounds like to me. What is Catterall gaining here if he beats him? Obviously, all boxers want to be undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't understand that. That's a big shock to me, and that's something that I will not support. You might as well say that Taylor is admitting defeat here by doing that. Because if he clearly thought that he won the fight, then he shouldn't need to make it without the belts. He shouldn't need to make it at a catch weight. This is wrong. Now, these are sources that I have found, and I believe that they are true. This is from Sky Sports here. So, if they aren't true, please correct me, leave a comment. But, to my knowledge, they are true, and I believe that it is wrong for him to do that. It's disrespectful to the fighter, and it's disrespectful to the public, because we all know that Catterall won, and I believe it will lose them even more fans. To anyone that thought that he did win, which is hard to believe. Obviously he's going to have some Josh Taylor fans that's going to back him regardless, even if he loses. Or if it looks like he loses, they're going to pick at anything to say that he won. So those are the guys that may lose respect for him. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now, this is not a good look for him. This is not a good look for boxing. This is not a good look overall. And it's a shame that he has to go to those measures, to basically to say that he won. That's basically saying, if you beat me again, I'm keeping the straps. You know what I mean? That's not right. And at a catch weight, what? Why do you need to, change your weight or be at the same weight if it was so easy to win the first time? If you were so dominant in the first game, you know what I mean? So it's a bit sus to me. I believe that Taylor maybe thought that he gave it his all and he couldn't win, and he needs to change up the rules a bit. Similar to what Khan did with Brook. He changed up the rules by giving him different gloves on the night of the fight. He told him to change gloves. He also sent someone, I don't know if he sent someone, but someone was, trying to mess up Brook's sleeping patterns. And this is what the A side can do here. They can play games like that and get away with it. And it's definitely not on. I'm the one that can see this, and I'm the one that's sharing this. And I thank you for listening. I thank you for listening, man. I really do appreciate your time as always. For sure. Cheers. I always appreciate your guys' time. Well, that's that topic out of the way. I hope that they don't allow that to happen. Catterall's team. I hope that Catterall makes noise and says, the whole world knows that I won. Let's chuck the boss back on the line. Or I'm not going to give you a rematch. Forget the money. This is about pride. This is about following my dreams. And I hope that Catterall says something like that. Put the money aside. Money comes and goes. But winning the undisputed is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I hope that he tries to fight for that and gets what he deserves. He should be the undisputed champ right now. Now, let's move on to Tank Davis, right? Easy work, Mr. Easy Work. Everyone's easy to me. Now, this is sad to see what's happening with his career here. He's challenging boxers, you could say, but not top boxers. He's just challenging Larry from the street, Okay, I'll say that they are boxers, but they're not highly ranked boxers, And I believe Tank has a lot of potential. You look back at that Barrios versus Thurman fight. Thurman, one-time Thurman, is meant to be a heavy hitter, and he was unable to knock down Barrios, right? Now, I know that the gloves were changed to, different ounce, different weight, but keep in mind that, if you can hit hard, man, you should be able to knock a guy down. It's not like you're using pillows. They're still boxing gloves. They can still do the job. And Tank managed to do that. He managed to knock him down. Now, he does have potential, Tank Davis. But the clock isn't on his side here. His age is going up. And I know he's a powerhouse. I know that the power's always going to be there. But you're gonna have to have quickness, speed, agility, stamina, man, good feet, good leg movement, because this isn't the heavyweight division that he's fighting in. This is a division where people have all those things. And if you lack in one, man, you ain't got a shot. You know what I mean? And I believe at the moment Tank is good in all departments. And it's a shame to see him fighting a guy by the name of Rowley, He's going to roll shit over him. You know what I mean? He might as well roll on his back because he's probably going to get knocked down. I don't see the fight going 7 rounds. You know what I mean? So, it's a shame to see that happening in Tank Davis's career, And I believe that it's his team, Mayweather and all them. I believe that they're trying to protect him. But I think it's now time for, Tank to make noise and step out of his comfort zone here and just say, you know what, man, I want to get tested. I want to start having the big fights. Same as Joshua, Step out of this fighting in the UK all the time, Go fight in the US. Go make a statement in the US and correct your wrongs, because this is what boxing's all about, Never mind being comfortable, man. You got to fight everybody. You got to fight everywhere. You got to make a legacy. You know what I mean? You look at legends like Ali. You look at legends like Foreman. Frazier. All these guys. They fought everywhere. You know what I mean? Lennox Lewis. He fought everywhere. That's a perfect example of a UK fighter. He fought in Vegas. He fought everywhere. And he fought everyone. And all day, those guys, Ali, Foreman. Now, Foreman came back at a later age, but he ended up, being fearless and fighting everybody. You know what I mean? Fought Evander Holyfield and things. And that was an epic fight. So, I mean, it's time for these guys to step up to the plate, Deontay Wilder, It's time for him to come back, start calling out Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? And yeah, Tank Davis, he needs to start fighting again. The top guys. I mean, like when I say fighting again, he's only got one good win on his record. That's what I mean by fighting again. And yeah, man, that's what I wanted to say about that. I still got a bit in the tank, in the bottle, I should say. What else can I talk about? I want to cover the Spence Ugas. Let's talk about the press conference, the aftermath. It's the aftermath. Let's talk about that, man. Spence is still a bit slurry on the speech, but that's how he's been for a while. He's saying that, he's not really affected from the eye. Regardless what happens in this fight, if Ugas wins, Ugas wins. You gotta just accept that. You can't say, oh, Spence wasn't the same and all that. Spence was careless with his own health. He's the one that's going in the ring. He's the one that's been training. He's the one that's promoting the fight. He's the one that's getting paid. He's the one that wants to be undisputed champion. He's saying that's what he wants, so he wants to challenge Crawford next. So, regardless what happens in this fight, they got referees there, they got cornermen there, so they can stop the fight. So, any Spence fans shouldn't really be too concerned here. This is the fight game. This is what is expected. The doctor gave him the thumbs up. That's the main thing, the fight's going ahead. Now, Ugas is saying, eye surgery, I knew that you would recover from that. He wants Spence to come forward. He wants fire. He wants to target the eye. Keep in mind, Ugas beat Pac-Man, which is one of the legends that fought on. Now we got Floyd. He came back for exhibition against a YouTuber. I don't really want to talk about that, but Pacquiao was a guy that, he came forward and he moved on and he tried to, fight on, but unfortunately, things happen for a reason, and now he's, doing what he's doing in his country, the Philippines, and much respect to him, for fighting on, and got a few good wins under his name, beat Thurman, got the title, and much respect to Pacquiao. Now, going back to Spence and Ugas, Spence is saying that, that obviously, that was an older Pac-Man, and it's like a Larry Holmes, versus an Ali, but it wasn't like that at all, When Ali fought Holmes, he was completely different. Pacquiao still had that speed. Pacquiao still had that fast hands, Obviously, the reflex dropped, but he wasn't as bad as Ali looked, when he fought Holmes. Ali wasn't even punching back at some point. Pacquiao had thrown more than double or something like that, a lot more punches than Ugas. So it wasn't the same at all. Ugas deserves full credit for that fight. And not only that, he also fought him with a torn bicep, and he also fought him on short notice. Now, I believe Pacquiao would have beaten him in his prime, but he wasn't in his prime. But he was still a fighting man. He was still fast. He still trained hard and things like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, full credit to Ugas. Now, for this fight, I think it's going to be a epic fight. I think that this fight will be definitely one to watch.